Speaking at the ceremony, the U.S. ambassador to Kenya, His Excellency Robert Godek, said that this flight was a way to further cementing the ties between the two countries. He also added that the U.S. will give $1.5 million to the Kenya Airport Authority for additional security equipment and training to ensure the safety of travelers.
And these flights, when they begin at the end of October, they're going to make travel between our two countries easier. They're going to connect our people. They're going to make it easier for business, men and women, for tourists, for students, for government officials, for citizens, for everybody to travel back and forth, to connect us. The United States will provide an additional $1.5 million, that's 150 million Kenya shillings, to the Kenya Airports Authority for additional security equipment and for training. And this is going to help ensure that travelers stay safe.
The Cabinet Secretary, Transport and Infrastructure, James Macharia, said the country being given the authorization is a big achievement, having signed the bilateral air service agreement with the U.S. in 2008.
Because looking back, we signed what we call the bilateral air service agreement with the U.S. way back in 2008. That's 10 years ago. And upon signing that agreement, you can imagine the only desire we had as Kenyans was to have direct flights to the US 10 years ago.
The CS further added that the collaboration between the two countries will have an impact to the country in matters economic development and the achievement of the Big Four agenda.
If you look at manufacturing, we have a lot of apparels, industries here, which are exporting goods to the US through the AGOA program. Those industries will certainly have a big benefit because with cargo flying to the US directly, there'll be a big benefit. Housing, we have housing companies, pension funds wanting to come here from the US, and already we are discussing with them. Food security as well. And finally, universal health care. We have big companies from the US who now, like the General Electric of the US, they'll fly directly to Nairobi to provide support to the Big Four. Balala, my colleague, CS Balala will tell you, in terms of tourism, currently we have about 95,000 from the US. I believe that number should triple. Reduce flight times for our students going to the US, parents going to see their students and their daughters and sons will be reduced from 25 hours to about 14 hours. And finally, in terms of agriculture, and in particular flowers, we have been exporting our flowers through Europe, Middle East. By the time it gets to the US, the value has gone down. Now with these direct flights, I believe the quantum will go up and the value of the flowers will go up.
This authorization comes barely 2 weeks after His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta visited his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump in Washington, D.C., where they discussed matters bilateral trade and security. For Brand Plus TV Business News, I am Daisy Wambua.